In this lesson, we will examine working with strings. The topics will include: how do you join two or more strings together? How do you trim and get the length of a string? How do you search inside a string? How do you change the case of a string? And finally, how do you replace characters in a string? Looking at our first code example, as you can see, the concatenate operator is used to join strings together. Assuming that we have four variables, $street, $number, $city, and $province, to join them together into one single variable, $address, we use the concatenate operator, which is the period, to join the variables together, including spaces and commas. On line 16, we can accomplish the same result by using the sprintf function, which is similar to printf in the same family. The difference is that sprintf returns a string, whereas printf directly outputs the value. We see %d representing the integer, %s representing the street, another %s representing the city, and finally the last %s, a placeholder for the province. On line 13 and 17, we echo the final result. Moving over to the browser, let's have a look at our first code example. So as you can see, the full address is 248 Main Street, Toronto, Ontario. Using sprintf, we get exactly the same result. Looking now at the second code example, we have the trim function, which is used to remove spaces from both the beginning and the end of the string. We have another function called strlen, which retrieves the length of the string. The trim function is oftentimes used when gathering input from users where you suspect that there may be leading or trailing spaces. The strlen function is oftentimes useful if you need to verify that the information that you're receiving from users is of exactly a certain length. So as usual, we display the results on lines 18 through 21. Moving back to the browser, let's look at the second example. So you'll notice that the untrimmed string has spaces at the beginning and end. After the trim, a very tight fit, exactly the string with no leading or trailing spaces. The length before, 47. The length after the trim, 41. Looking now at the third code example, in order to locate a string within a string, we have function strpos, which stands for string position, and stripos, which stands for string position case insensitive. Notice the letter I, which is oftentimes used to indicate case insensitivity. What is the difference between the two? The difference is that when we're testing to locate the word quick, for example, in the text, the quick brown fox jumped over the fence, quick as a wink he was gone. You'll notice on line 14, we are locating the position of the word quick. However, we're looking for the word quick where the letter Q is uppercase. Let's move and take a look at the results. So example number 3. So you can see that the length of the string is 72. The word quick, which was located, is at position 44, which is the beginning of the second sentence. Moving back to the code, let's now have a look at the same operation, but using the stripos function rather than the strpos function. Refreshing the screen, you can see now that the position has changed to position 4, which is the second word in the first sentence. So the case insensitive search returned the first instance of the word quick, whereas the case sensitive search, strpos, located only the word quick, the beginning of the second sentence. Moving now to the fourth code example, there are several functions which can change the case of strings from lower to upper, upper to lower, etc. The stir to lower function makes the entire string lowercase. The stir to upper function makes the entire string uppercase. The UCWords function makes each word of the string uppercase. This is extremely useful if you need to represent titles, for example. Moving over to the code, let's look at example number 4. So as you can see, our original sentence is now lowercase, uppercase, and each word being uppercase. Moving back to the code, in the last example, we are going to look at replacing portions of a string with other strings. The two functions that can be used to do this are strreplace and strIreplace. As you might have suspected, stir I replace is case insensitive, whereas stir replace respects the case of the strings. On line 6, we take the text from the previous example. On line 9, we replace the word wink with turtle. So we'll end up with the quick brown fox jumped over the fence. Quick as a turtle, he was gone. On line 13, we're going to replace quick with slow. However, you'll notice because it is not case sensitive, only the first occurrence will be changed, not the second occurrence. If we do the same thing with stir I replace, both occurrences will be changed. This represents a problem, however, because now we have a sentence where the beginning of the second sentence is lowercase and not uppercase. One way to deal with this would be to locate the position of the second sentence, which starts with the word quick. We use stir pause to do that. On line 23 and 24, we use the substir command along with trim to split the string into two sentences according to the position. So we get the substring of text 2 starting at position 0 all the way up to the position located using stir pause. On line 24, we take the second sentence by simply starting at the position indicated by stir pause. We use the trim command to remove the leading and trailing white space. On line 28, we then use stir I replace to replace the word quick with slow, concatenate, including a space, stir I replace again on the second string, using the UC first function, which is similar to UC words, but it only uppercases the first letter of the string. Let's look at the result. This is example number 5. So we can see here the first sentence, original, replacing with the word turtle. Quick as a turtle, he was gone. The first replacement, slow, but the second, quick, was not replaced because of case sensitivity. If we do it again using stir I replace, we have the word slow replacing quick, but now the second sentence starts with a lowercase letter. We locate the position of quick, split the two strings, and the new text, the slow brown fox jumped over the fence, slow as a turtle, he was gone, proper case. In review, how do you join two or more strings together? Use the concatenate operator, which is the period, or use sprintf. How do you trim and get the length of a string? Use the trim function or the stirling function. How do you search inside a string? You use stir pause or stir I pause for case insensitive search. How do you change the case of a string? Stir to lower, stir to upper, UC words, and UC first. How do you replace characters in a string? You'd use stir replace or stir I replace. This concludes our discussion of working with strings.